Now, environmental protesters Just Stop Oil have been at it again this morning, this time breaking into an airfield at Stansted Airport to target private jets. It's thought that Taylor Swift's plane was parked at that very airport.
Well, it comes after the group has been heavily criticised for spraying Stone Henge with orange paint or orange corn flour or whatever it is. It's provoked universal condemnation. Wiltshire Police confirmed that 2 people have been arrested. The English Heritage Chief Executive, Dr Nick Merriman, said there appears to be no visible damage after the paint was cleaned.
Well, let's speak now to our South West of England reporter, Jeff Moody. Very good morning to you, Jeff. And we can see Stonehenge behind you there. It is an iconic site to so many, isn't it? And that is one of the reasons why there's been absolute outrage over what we saw happen there yesterday.
Yes, absolutely. This is the closest we can actually get to Stonehenge this morning. As you say, you can see it over my shoulder here. This is the A303. It's busy at any time of the day, but this is where people sort of slow down a little bit so they can have a look at Stonehenge. It was at around midday yesterday that 2 protesters sprayed this orange powder paint over the stones. They were wrestled to the ground, or at least one of them was, by members of the public, but they had, by that point, they had sprayed the stones. Well, Wiltshire Police say they made 2 arrests, Neve Lynch, who's a 21-year-old student from Oxford, and Rajan Naidu, who's a 73-year-old from Birmingham. Well, as you say, outright condemnation for this. Rishi Sunak led the condemnation yesterday by describing it as a disgraceful act of vandalism, and the leader of the opposition, Sir Keir Starmer, said the damage was outrageous and described Just Stop Oil as pathetic. Well, Just Stop Oil has said, look, there isn't any lasting damage. It's only powder paint. First spot of rain and it'll wash off. English Heritage weren't quite so sure about that. They called in several experts yesterday, but it does look as though there's been no serious damage to the stones as things stand. But the question, of course, is why have they done this? Now, Just Stop Oil originally said that their motivation was to prevent all new oil and gas licences from being issued. Well, the Labour leader says he won't. If he comes to power, he won't issue any of these new licences. So, seeing as that the polls look very much likely that Sir Keir Starmer will be in number 10, Just Stop Oil are moving the goalposts a little, because they're now saying, look, yes, we recognise the fact that an incoming Labour government won't issue any more of these licences, but we now want more. We now want all governments to sign up to a treaty banning all use of fossil fuels, phasing all use completely by 2030. Just 6 years' time. That's their new demand. They say that they're going to keep going with these campaigns until they get their demands. But of course, the timing of this is very interesting. It's the longest day of the year. It's the summer solstice tonight. From around 7 o'clock this evening, we're expecting around 5,000 people to descend on Stonehenge. They come here twice a year for the winter solstice and for the summer solstice, and they stay overnight, and then they watch the sun coming up the next morning. So we're expecting the site to be open later on today for those 1,000 people to come and enjoy the summer solstice.
Yeah, well, let's hope none of this actually stops them from doing that. Jeff, for now, thanks very much indeed.
And very interesting yesterday,
oh, yes.
I thought, was Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer having a very united front on this.
Well, yeah, good.
Both condemning it.
You can't understand what they're trying to achieve with this, apart from making themselves even less popular.
I mean, even staunch environmentalists like Emma was describing herself as there, she was saying, I can't agree with what I'm seeing them do here.
No.